Believe it or not, LinkedIn is a place for people other than crying CEOs and bros trying to sell you cold lead software. Today, I'm going to break down how you can use LinkedIn to actually grow your following, grow your overall impressions, and most importantly, grow your business. So let's hop in. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about with LinkedIn is its space in the social media ecosystem, right? We think about all of these platforms that we have. We have Instagram, Twitter, or X, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, etc. LinkedIn obviously is the professional network. It draws a lot of professional eyeballs. It also has what I would argue to be the least political feed. Where does it put it in terms of your strategy or growing? I would say pretty high, and largely because LinkedIn rewards so many different content types, from text-based to documents through to videos, etc. Short form video, for instance, right now is absolutely popping off, something you should try. If we rewind and say, how are we going to present ourselves there, right? What do we want to accomplish? I definitely would go to LinkedIn with the thought process on how do I find customers here? How do I get in front of customers and how do I connect with customers? When we take that lens, when we approach the platform, it's going to set us on a clearer path with how we want to, one, present ourselves, and two, the content we want to put out. Let's talk about presenting ourselves. Look, there's a million posts on here about tidying up your LinkedIn profile. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. It's real simple. Have a good photo, have a clear bio, have a clear tagline, and that's kind of it. You can get into optimizations and what have you, but ultimately I would go with that as a starting point. All right, next I want to talk about post frequency, and this is going to be in particular for personal social. You should be posting 3 to 5 times a week on LinkedIn, and that might sound like a lot, but when you post at that frequency, one, you're not going to cannibalize your previous posts, so there's enough space in between them. Two, you're going to be able to learn from your posts very quickly. What is working, what is not. And ultimately, if you're like, hey, I can't come up with that much content, start like this. Say, I'm going to make 12 posts. Okay, that's 3 posts a week for a month, right? Can you come up with 12 ideas? Or alternatively, can you come up with 3 ideas and then say them 4 different ways, right? You'll see that the successful creators on these platforms, they typically have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ideas, and they found 1,000 ways to talk about these same ideas. Same thing applies to you. What are you passionate about? What's a spiky point of view or a polarizing opinion you have? And polarizing in the way that it pushes away the people you don't want, pulls in the people that you do want, right? Think about that as you go through to create your content. And that leads me to the next part, which is what types of content should you be creating on LinkedIn? Now, the answer might surprise you, but it's not the standard listicle on 5 ways to get better at X or 17 things I learned about blah. We don't want that. What we actually want to do as we move into this year and beyond is focus on thought leadership and an explorer POV. Thought leadership is a term that gets thrown around a lot. People have been saying it forever, but I actually want you to embrace it. Thought leadership means actually having original IP. How are you synthesizing the information around you and coming up with points of view for your industry? How does a recent labor shortage affect your industry? Do you have an opinion on that? Has your experience led you to have an opinion on that? Something like that is going to help position you as an actual leader and break you free from the standard listicles, the 10 ways to grow that you're going to see on the rest of the platform. The other part of this is when you think about IP, right? It may not get to the masses. That's okay, because what we're trying to do on LinkedIn is not necessarily be the most popular person. We're trying to be insightful, an actual leader, and to do so to a small or sometimes large group of people who would actually buy from you, your customers. And when you focus on your customers, that's going to help dictate a lot of the content you create. One of the traps that people fall into on LinkedIn is really peer pressure, or the pressure to try to impress their peers. And this is the mistake I've made. I've seen countless others make as well, where you create stuff and you're looking for a rah, 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 pat me on the back from other people in your industry, but it misses the mark with your customers altogether. You should be creating content for your customers, point blank. Industry folks, I love them. They're great. Talk to them at conferences, have a drink with them. But ultimately, people in your industry, competitors, people having with the same job at another company, they're not who's going to buy from you. So talk to your customers. What you can do is talk about, like we said, actual thought leadership, or what we mentioned, the explorer POV. Okay, the explorer POV, what is this? In a world where everybody wants to be the guide and say, do this, do that, do this, do that, I want you to be the explorer. The explorer is a person who tries things out, takes their audience along for the ride, and reports back their findings. So it could be something like this. I spent 12 months recording YouTube videos, trying to grow my business. Here's what I found. Now, when I create at that post, I've already separated myself from the pack because so many people aren't willing to create YouTube videos for 12 months to grow their business. They want to come and give you the advice without doing the work and behind it. So if you can take some experience or experiment you've done and actually talk about your learnings, that's going to be insightful. And now the next thing with LinkedIn to further push that insight is you really want to maximize the formats in which your message gets out. So many people rely solely on the feed, and I'm here to tell you there's so much more to LinkedIn than feed posts, okay? Number one, actually reaching out to people. Reaching out to people you want to work with or want to learn from, and in an authentic way. You have enough time to send out 5 to 10 real connection requests. And I'm going to give you a little tip. If you don't have a good conversation starter when you send that connection request, something where you can actually add value or ask, their opinion on something without trying to sell them, just send a request without a generic message. You have a higher chance of getting people to actually respond. Early on in LinkedIn, what I did, I started a podcast and I did cold outreach. I reached out to people I wanted to have on my podcast. I led with, hey, are you open to being a podcast guest? I've been following you. I'm looking for people to come on the show. And what happened is that message there received so much positive reaction. It helped me build real connections. It got people on the podcast. And now I've been able to build this network. It's maybe not the biggest network on LinkedIn, but it's a network that's really influential and can help my career. That's something I would recommend to you. Think about how you can really fine tune your outreach message and how you use DMs. 2, look at content forms that LinkedIn is rewarding. Now, the one in plain sight is video, short form video. There's a little hidden one that most people don't take advantage of. Once again, it's something that takes a little more work. This is the LinkedIn newsletter function. I swear to God, is the greatest thing hiding in plain sight, because when you use LinkedIn to send out a newsletter, 2 things happen. 1, it goes on your feed. You're able to create a post. It gets impressions. It gets reads that way. 2, LinkedIn actually sends that newsletter as an email to all of the people who are following it. So you are able to get a ton of distribution outside of the platform. They will actually send your message out, get into people's inboxes, has a very, very high hit rate with regards to deliverability, and people will start opening it. This allows you to not only get impressions, but get reads. Reads are gold. The other thing that newsletters give you, they give you metrics. What are the types of jobs people have that read your newsletter? In my case, we're not the biggest newsletter. I think on LinkedIn we have 1,400 or so people, but I can see that they're all founders, CEOs, and CMOs. I'll take 1,400 of those types of people reading my content over 100,000 generic people in all industries. Think about that. What can you utilize when everybody else is rushing to the feed and trying to do something? How can you operate and use the platform's other features and things they're trying to build to grow your audience? And lastly, also overlooked, comments. You have to be commenting. They say always be closing, but honestly, always be commenting. You have to take it one step further than most people out there. Right now, there's a lot of crap AI comments and they're very easy to read through. 2, the other thing people do is they go, that's fire, great job, congratulations. Comments without depth. Man, it ain't fun to swim in shallow water. Let's get in the deep end, okay? So what I want you to do is actually read the person's post. Does it evoke any emotion? Does it start a conversation? Or are you just doing a comment for the sake of it? If it's the third one, you shouldn't comment. But what you should be doing is trying to find conversations that you can jump into, people you can engage with. What I would do, instead of scrolling, hoping that you find useful conversations, I would make a list of 50 people that you know are going to put out content. Make a list of them, get links directly to their feed. Then spend 10 minutes a day going through each of their feeds, seeing if they've posted something. Is there something then that you can comment on? That's going to save you time as you're able to quickly sift through, find the people that you want to engage with, do the engagement, and then move on. Get on with your week. Get back to creating content. Get back to doing your thing, whatever it is. And that's it. That is the starting point, how you can start to use LinkedIn to grow your following, grow your audience, but ultimately grow your business. And that's what we're doing this for. This has been Mind Your Marketing. I'm Jordan Shelton. I hope you enjoyed this. If you do, please hit the like, share, subscribe. That means the world to us. I'll catch you next time.